In this video, I'm going to turn another bowling ball. This one is called the Super Tornado. Robin found this at a thrift store here in town for 15 bucks, and it just has some beautiful color on it. In the first video we did, we had mentioned that we were going to give it back to the gentleman that had originally owned it. We found it at a garage sale, but what we didn't realize, it was actually a moving sale. So it took a little bit, but we tracked him down, and here it is. The ball actually belonged to George, and it was great to hang out and talk to him for a little bit. And he told me he had actually bought the ball when he was up in Alaska, so it was super cool, and it was neat to be able to give that back. All right, let's get started on this one. Help support the companies that support our community. After I got it shaped and hollowed out, I started sanding it. I started with 80 grit to get all the rough grooves out, and then I switched over and wet sanded it with water up to 600. And that's when I switched over and started using the Yorkshire grit. I used the regular Yorkshire grit on it first, and then switched to the microfine. And the microfine is made for stuff like resins and things like that. So it worked out really nice, polished it up nice. A couple little things. I had a lot of questions on the first one I did. So I just put it in between centers. I didn't use a worm screw or anything. It's pretty easy to get it really close. Just put it in between centers, live center and spur center, and you can get it lined up pretty easy. So I also talked in the first one I did about leaving the finger holes in on the bowl part of it, but this one had a big chip out of one of the finger holes, so that's why I did it this way and kind of got rid of them. Plus the really cool texture part of it, or the all the colors and stuff, was at the wrong end of it. We really need to drill these out. Think about how you're drilling them out, guys, because we need all that cool stuff on them when we're turning them. But super cool. This one had a solid core. It was really thin. That's why I couldn't get out a little bit of it. Even where I put the tenon on the bottom of it, it was right there. So you could see some of the white on the bottom of it there. But just beautiful. I love all the different colors and the pearl and everything in it, but it's a fun project. Like I said in the beginning of it too, it was really neat to go over and meet George there. I did leave those 2 finger holes in it, and you can't see it, but once I started turning it and polishing up, it actually said Debbie right on it right there. They had engraved Debbie in it, so super cool. And Robin got the ball, a bag, and a pair of shoes that fit her for 15 bucks. So it's really fun to turn these. I used the respirator this time, a big one. This is that hood we used to paint with those at Freightliner, so I just grabbed that. It has a little air conditioning unit on the back of it and everything, so it's nice and safe. But like I said too, I talked to George, and the balls that he had bought, so they weren't, some people had mentioned that they were, years ago they had used asbestos in them, but it wasn't that old. Had a couple people comment on the last one too, that the centers of these might be liquid, and there's no liquid in them. It's all resin and polymer. And then somebody asked if there was lead in them. So there's no lead in bowling balls, so you don't have to worry about that. And even if there is, lead is a super soft metal, and not that there is any, but it would turn away really easy. And if there was a lead ball inside a bowling ball, it would probably weigh 50 pounds, so I wouldn't worry about that. I would just try, and if you're going to try it, I would try and find ones that, in the last 20 years or so you don't have to worry about asbestos, but that was a long time ago. But super fun. They're pretty easy to turn. Had some people comment too about it beating up the tools. It doesn't. The negative rake cutters from Media Wood, it just cuts it like butter. It's not any harder to turn than regular resin, like if you're turning Alumilite or acrylics or things like that. It's the same. It doesn't, not going to beat them up anymore. The only thing it might be a little different is they use different things on the inside of the core, but all the ones I've turned so far, it just turns them out like regular resin, even though it's a little bit different material. But super fun project. All right, till next time, take care.